Tom had never been an animal lover. To him, pets were a waste of time and effort. He mocked people who cared about strays, often making cruel jokes about how weak and pathetic they were. His co-workers had learned to ignore his comments, but one day, he took his cruelty too far. It happened on his way home from work. Near the bus stop, a frail, injured dog lay in the dirt, barely moving. It was thin, its fur matted, its ribs painfully visible. People walked past, some glancing at it with pity, others too busy with their own lives to notice. Tom noticed, and he laughed. "Look at that thing," he sneered to a group of bystanders. "Why doesn't someone just put it out of its misery?" The dog, weak as it was, lifted its head slightly, its dull eyes locking onto him for a brief moment before it collapsed again. A woman standing nearby scowled. "If you have nothing kind to say, walk away." Tom smirked. "It's just a dog. It doesn't matter." With that, he turned his back and left. He should have never done that. Strange things begin. That night, Tom felt restless. As he lay in bed, he could swear he heard faint whimpering outside his window. He lived on the 3rd floor. It wasn't possible, but the sound continued. Software, pained, almost familiar. He shook it off and forced himself to sleep. But the next morning, he found muddy paw prints on his doorstep. His apartment door was locked. No way an animal got in. At work, he felt a strange sensation, like something was watching him. When he looked out the window, a dog sat across the street, staring up at him, not moving, just watching. It wasn't the same dog from last night. This one was different, bigger, healthier, but its eyes, something about them felt the same. For the next few days, it continued. Different dogs appeared near his home, his office, even at the cafe where he got his morning coffee. They never approached, never barked, just watched. Tom tried to ignore it, but the unease grew. He stopped going for his usual evening walks. He double-checked his door locks at night. He even avoided looking out his windows, but the feeling never left. The nightmare unfolds. One evening, he was walking home when he heard it again, a faint whimper. His heart pounded. Turning the corner, he stopped dead. Lined along the sidewalk, sitting in perfect silence, were more dogs than he could count. Big, small, shaggy, sleek, all staring. Their eyes reflected the streetlights, unmoving. His breath hitched. Then a shape stepped forward. It was the injured dog, the same one from before. But now, despite its still weakened body, it stood tall. It held its head high. Tom stumbled back, tripping over himself. The dogs didn't move closer, didn't attack. They just stood there, waiting. A deep, chilling growl filled the air, not from one dog, but from all of them at once. Tom's hands shook as he scrambled to his feet. This isn't real," he whispered. But it was. He turned and ran, his footsteps echoing down the empty street. He didn't stop until he was locked inside his apartment, gasping for air. The whimpering sound returned that night, louder than before. It was inside his apartment. The next morning, he packed his bags. He didn't care where he was going. He just needed to leave. The final warning. As he stepped outside, he froze. They were waiting. Dogs lined the sidewalk, fences, and rooftops, silently watching. Their eyes glowed in the dim morning light. Then, one by one, the streetlights flickered out. Panicked, Tom ran and never looked back. By morning, he was gone. The woman who had scolded him that day saw his apartment door locked and empty. She smiled softly and knelt, scratching the injured dog behind the ears. Looks like justice found him, she whispered. The dog wagged its tail.